Well, good evening, everyone. It is Thursday evening here. It is January 11th. Wanted to do a quick video here, look at the severe weather that's likely to start here in the next couple hours. So that'll be our Thursday evening, as well as going all through the overnights into our all-day Friday, and then probably into Friday evening, possibly overnight along the eastern seaboard. So want to break down what threats we're facing and kind of what areas will be under the gun here over the next couple days. So this is our simulated radar reflectivity. So we can see that here over the next couple hours, there's likely to be some storms firing up across kind of western, southwestern Arkansas. Initially, probably maybe 9, 10 p.m. here in a couple hours. And then likely another line a little bit further to the west, possibly encroaching upon the Dallas-Fort Worth area, that then will likely kind of stay intact overnight across the Mississippi Valley and into the southeast, and really pushing pretty quickly east throughout the day. And so really what's causing this is, I wanted to kind of show this example here. Let me get it into the sunlight here. The sun is starting to set, so our satellite imagery is a little tough. We have a pretty deep, powerful trough here. That's kind of our jet stream that is in place right here. And when I animate this, you'll see the clouds flowing. So this is our upper level wind field here, very powerful system with some really, really strong winds way up above the surface. And you can see all of these bubbling clouds. Really, this area kind of right here across eastern Texas, up into Arkansas, kind of Mississippi, and a little bit of Alabama here. This is moisture from the Gulf of Mexico that's being basically pulled northward by our trough here and our upper level energy. So it's forming a little bit of an area of low pressure around here. And so as that kind of spins counterclockwise here, that tends to pull this moisture further inland. And so that's what's taking place right now. And you can see that here on satellite. As I animate this, you can see that kind of taking place. You can see this trough kind of right here in this area. You can see those clouds over New Mexico and the Panhandle. And then you can see kind of this bubbling cumulus as that moisture transports northward. So this is going to be our trigger, this moisture here, along with our big upper level system. This will trigger off those storms likely in this area over the next couple hours, so Thursday evening, and then probably firing up a line somewhere around here that then will push eastward overnight and then throughout the day. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. That's going to be our main trigger. When we look at the Storm Prediction Center, we do have 2 risk areas outlined for not only today, but also for tomorrow. So this is our Thursday severe weather outlook. We do have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, mainly for a damaging wind threat. So that's going to be really from Shreveport, Northeast Texas, including Texarkana, really up to around the Little Rock area. So this is going to be our target, but we will see that additional line fire up here, not far, possibly even over DFW, and then pushing east in the overnight hours. So this will be our main threat. Again, the biggest threat is mainly for damaging winds. That looks like the biggest threat overnight. Possibly a couple tornadoes. We'll see how that kind of progresses, but likely a little bit of hail early on and possibly some damaging winds. When we move into our Friday, we do have the same level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. Now, earlier today and yesterday, this really stretched all the way into the Carolinas and really across the middle part of the southeast here. Storm Prediction Center did remove that, and it's only over kind of this initial area early in our Friday. Again, likely more of a damaging wind threat. We could see some tornadoes present across Friday, maybe late morning into the afternoon hours, depending on how far north some of that moisture gets pulled up. That'll be probably the determining factor. Right now, doesn't look like quite as big of an event, so likely some damaging winds earlier, maybe a couple isolated tornado reports, but not as quite of a significant event for the southeast as initially was expected. So if we go back to our models here, I'll go ahead and kind of slow this down and move forward in time here gradually. So what we can see here is this would be right about 9 p.m. Central Time. So we can see those initial storms blowing up here, really from northeast Texas to southwest Arkansas, and even some sub-severe storms up here across central and northern Arkansas, and maybe even a little bit here in eastern Oklahoma. So that's kind of our initial round here. These will tend to lift off to the northeast with a little bit of time. And then as we move forward in time, we'll see this line kind of blow up here from eastern Oklahoma down into eastern Texas. And again, this would be 7Z, so that would be, it's going to be around 1 a.m. or so. And so again, this is going to be definitely overnight, possibly into our Friday early morning hours. And then watch as this just kind of slowly moves eastward, or actually pretty quickly. Overnight hours continues, forms a little bit more of a secondary line out ahead here. There are some bubblers here. If any of these can kind of get a little bit of instability, maybe moisture gets brought inland a little bit more than the models are projecting, we could see some isolated supercells, maybe a couple tornadoes out of this. Again, not a huge outbreak or anything like that. And this will just kind of meander and move pretty quickly off to the east through our Friday. But by, this would be 6 p.m. on Friday evening. Most of it is into the Carolinas or almost off the eastern seaboard already. So pretty quick moving system here over the next, 24 hours or so. But definitely could see some severe weather, mainly damaging winds, but possibly a couple isolated tornadoes as well. And again, our limiting factor is that moisture. And so when we go back here to kind of where we sit right now, again, we can see kind of mid 50s to almost 60-degree dew points. Really, these 50s is this purple line here. And then this bluish color, these are our 60 dew points. Typically for severe weather events, you need about 55 to 60-degree dew points for severe weather. And if you want to see significant severe weather, you need to have that 60s to mid 60s at a minimum. And again, most of that is just barely across the coastline. Now, what we'll see as we move forward in time here over our Thursday night and into Friday, we will see that moisture move further inland. Again, 60-degree dew points all the way up here to Texarkana. And again, this is about 1 a.m. when that secondary line of storms fires off. Then as we move forward in time, the reason that we won't see a significant severe weather event here on Friday is that our best moisture is really confined to this little kind of triangle right here. So it's not a very large area. It's kind of that southeast or southwest Alabama into the Florida panhandle and maybe a little bit of southern Alabama and then Georgia as we move forward in time. But again, not a very big area. If we had an area where our 60s dew points was like this, we'd be looking at probably a significant severe weather event or maybe even a tornado outbreak. But again, most of the moisture just really stays in the Gulf of Mexico from that cold front that we had earlier this week. So that's a little bit of the saving grace here. Again, it does start to expand up. We may see some tornado reports possibly across the southern half of Georgia late afternoon on Friday. But again, still looks like there's just not going to be a lot of time for storms to be in this better moisture. So that'll likely keep things relatively limited. So again, certainly a pretty significant threat for damaging winds overnight and into tomorrow specifically. If you live anywhere from these areas here across northeast Texas or eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, into the southeast and Carolinas, definitely stay weather aware here, not only tonight, but into most of your Friday as well. So hope everybody has a good day and everyone's preparing for the cold. Certainly going to be a pretty significant cold blast here over the next couple days. So I'll certainly be doing a couple videos on that here as we get closer to the event, probably tomorrow and Saturday. But hope everybody has a good rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you back for the next video.